Hi, I'm Chris McKeel.
And I'm Susanna King.
And we are Flourish Media. Today we're going to talk about using social media to educate your customers.
In our last video, we talked about how it's important to engage people on social media by giving them what they're looking for. And what they're looking for is to be entertained, to be educated, and to connect with others. So last time we talked about authenticity and connecting. And this time we are talking about educating.
It's important to educate your customers, and some of the benefits that you'll get through that is you're going to strengthen their trust in your organization. If you're not only just pitching to them, you're going to help them understand who you are, what your products are, what their limitations are, and how to use them best. But you can also just go beyond the scope of your products and educate them about whatever really kind of connects to what it is that you're doing. Like we're using this video to educate you on how to use social media to gain more followers and connect better with the people that will become your clients or customers. Companies are really effective when they can wrap their pitch into the education that they provide, because people are interested in being educated. They want to learn about certain topics. They don't want to be sold to. And a good example of this is B&H Photo. If you have anything to do with photography or videography or recording music, you probably know about this company. They do an excellent job of selling and providing great prices on all sorts of gear, but they also are really good at telling people about their products, how to use their products, how to choose which products to buy, and they hire leaders in the field to give seminars that they video and put out on YouTube, so you can sit and watch and learn how to be a better photographer or sound recorder or whatever it is that you do.
And another company that does education well as part of their social media strategy is Trader Joe's. They have a podcast, Inside Trader Joe's, you might have heard of it, and they talk about how the food gets into their store, where it comes from, how it's made, how they decide what to put on their shelves, and it's a great way to let people know where their food comes from and how it's made, but also promotes what they're selling.
Yeah, because people who shop there are very interested in food and all about where their food comes from. Mm-hmm. That's very important to them.
And another example that I really like about using education for social media effectively is WD-40. They used a little hashtag on their Twitter account, WD-40 uses. And they would just tweet out tips on ways you could use WD-40. And everybody liked it because it was educational. It taught you some life hacks for how to use their product.
Mm-hmm. It seems like duct tape might be doing that. Should do that too.
Exactly. That would be a good one.
Yeah. So these are some good examples on how companies use education to connect. And obviously this video is an example too. We try to once a week provide you with information that is educational, which can be kind of daunting.
Yes, but I think once a week is probably a pretty good goal to set, because even though it's a lot of work to put together educational content, it's worth it. And you don't have to make it a huge production. If you want to, you can just post small facts about your product. The WD-40 example is one. That was just, a sentence or two. Mm-hmm.
And you can share articles or blog posts that are relevant to, if you think your customers would like to know or learn about whatever is in the post, you don't have to rewrite it. You can just share it.
Because chances are you're probably doing research for your field that you work in anyway, so save those links and share them.
Mm-hmm. And I found as a health educator, when I taught things, I learned them a lot better. So when I was in school and learning things, I learned what I needed to learn. But when I had to get up in front of a group or create a presentation, I went very deep in the content. So you'll find that if you do decide to write little blog posts or write little write-ups in your Facebook posts or little tiny things on Instagram, that you're probably going to learn just from organizing the information to share it with somebody who may not be as much of an expert in the field as you are.
And one great way to share educational material is through Pinterest. It's a great way to share recipes, blog posts, and also infographics. You might have seen that one that went around a few years back about how to tell what different kinds of coffee are, and it was just these cups with different amounts of coffee and milk or other mix-ins for the coffee, and that was a great infographic for promoting coffee.
And infographics tend to get shared too, so if you're into creating one of those, that's definitely a great thing to do. One thing that Susanna was telling me about was evergreen content, and you want to explain what that means?
Yes, that is content that doesn't go stale. So, for example, a recipe is a really good example of that. If I do a search for banana muffins, I can find a banana muffin recipe from 10 years ago and it's still useful to me. Whereas if I'm looking for, fashion from 2018, that might go stale, or even, software tips, those go stale pretty fast. So anything that's educational, why you do things, how to do things without being specific to any kind of current software, things that are likely to change, that's evergreen content, and that's very valuable because once you've created it, it'll always appeal to your customers.
Right. So, but if you're a boutique owner, then obviously you're going to have to do stuff about what's the latest fashion, but maybe on choosing a pair of jeans that fit or something that doesn't necessarily relate to changing trends might be a good thing to also consider so that some of your content lasts. This can really seem daunting, and I think it's important just to set small goals. You may not be posting once a week with educational content. You might start out at once a month. The point is to go ahead and start accruing that content. And just remember that this is kind of a marathon. It's not a sprint. So you want to kind of be, steadily putting out content that people are interested in, are enjoying, are glad they see when it shows up in their feed, and also try to include something that they can interact with, because all of the platforms will reward you if people are liking or commenting or clicking through on different content.
Ask people to share how your tips helped them, how the recipe came out, how their photos came out using the equipment they bought, anything like that. Any kind of feedback is really valuable.
So, on that note, please share how we're helping you.
Yes, if you find any of this valuable, let us know.
Okay. Well, just to sum up, again, you want to educate, entertain, and connect. So far, we've talked to you about how to connect through being authentic and how to educate.
And in our next video, we will talk about how to engage your customers with entertainment, which can seem really daunting if you're not, a stand-up comic.
Yeah, we're going to have to research this one.
But there are plenty of ways to entertain, even if you have stage fright.
Yeah, take pictures of your cat. So it's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you next week. Be sure to comment and let us know how we're doing, and share this with anyone who might be interested.